I had support in the studio. Student help has always been a big part of my studio, and I can sustain a vision for about 4 months and do a tremendous volume of work. And it's work that gains momentum. It spins off in different directions that are unforeseen and there's no plan. It's random and it's chaos, but out of the chaos comes some clarity and some direction and some purpose. And so that's how I like to work now in very intense, short, kind of energy force ways.
And when people get to see this work, what is their most common question that they ask you?
I think probably over the years, and it's funny, for years I answered it the same way. People would say, well, they'd be looking at, say, a vase in the showroom, and they'd say, well, how long does it take to make that pot? And I would launch in, and I would say, well, I've got to prepare the clay, and that takes a few minutes, and I've got to spin my pot on the wheel, and that takes a few minutes, and I have to trim it the next day, and I have to glaze it. And I would basically tell the story of the life of that pot. But not too long ago, a woman came into my showroom, and she was looking at quite a large jardiniere, or like a large urn form. And it was a beautiful piece, one of my favorites. And she asked the question, well, how long did it take you to make that? And I think I finally got the answer right. I said, it's taken me 31 years to make that pot. Everything I know, all of my life experiences, all the art shows I've attended, all the rivers I've paddled, interactions I've had with my family and friends, my whole life's work is in that pot, representative in that piece. I was just determined to get it right this time, and it was feeling good as I was launching in on this rant. It just felt fantastic, and it made perfect sense to me. And when I was finished, I took a deep breath, and she said, how interesting. I'll take it.
Good job, Allan. It's so true, too. We undermine all the fact that the hours and hours of dedication we put into learning our skills and our trade, whatever discipline you're working at, it's true. It's a journey that you have these points where, there, another hurdle reached, and then there's new plateaus, and the work gradually grows and grows into masterpieces.
Well, don't you think too, Daisy, that quite often we get caught up in process? And so, here all these years I was telling people about process, and I wasn't talking about the passion and the risk and the energy that goes into this work. Long days, countless hours, you can't possibly measure. And I think the general public can't possibly understand that we take these ideas to bed with us. We wake up on a run, get into the studio, open up a bag of clay, and hope that there's magic about to happen, and it doesn't always happen. It's a much less predictable process than that. And over the years, I've done lots of commissioned work, and people will ask me to make one special pot. That creates a lot of expectation and a lot of tension, and I find that way more stressful than just making pots. And when I make pots out of the chaos, and I work in production, so if I'm working on large salad bowls, I might make a dozen. And out of that dozen, I might lose one along the way. No problem. I still have 11 nice bowls. Out of those 11, I'm going to have a favorite. You might have a different favorite. But somewhere in those 11 remaining salad bowls, there's some magic. And it comes out of just the sheer process of making. It's not forced or calculated. It's just spontaneous. It's intuitive. And it's just through getting the clay out and getting started.
And what are you working